How to pick the right ERP for your company. My name is Loredana. How to pick the right ERP for your company. My name is Loredana Pepe. I'm the direct sales manager for Northam and LATAM in the United States, and I'm going to be presenting this talk to you. Super excited to be helping you with this important decision for your company. So the wrong ERP software can take 30% longer to implement and can cost you between 3 to 4 times more than expected. So of course, it's super important to take into consideration many different factors when deciding about what ERP you're going to be using for your company. Picking an ERP can be intimidating. Why? Because there are so many options, there is so many information online, and there is a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. Of course, I made it easy for you, and this is what this talk is about. I'm going to be explaining you what to think about, what to consider, and how to, of course, pick the right and the best ERP for your company. So let's start. The agenda is going to be this one, the following. So first, I'm going to explain 3 signs to let you know that you are ready for an ERP. Then I'm going to explain the step to consider when selecting an ERP, and of course, the best and right ERP for your company. Then I'm going to say additional information. I'm going to say a quick abstract and then the conclusion. So let's start. The 3 signs that you are ready for an ERP. So the first one is you do not have easy access to information. So what does this mean? Your information is all over the place. You have all these many departments and the information is not integrated and it's not connected. And you do not have that information on real time. So of course, if you want, let's say, you will want to know how much money you make in your sales last month, and you do not have that information with an easy access, just clicking the information in your software. If you want to know that information, then you need to ask to your sales manager, or you need to wait a few days to know that information. So with a software, you are going to have information in real time. Another factor is that you are not aware of your on-time performance metrics. And what does that mean? Let's not just talk about the sales, but let's talk about how efficient your warehouse team was. So you are not going to know that information if you do not have a software, but having a software, you are going to know so many metrics in real time. So it's going to be easy for your company, and you are going to have real data, real information that is going to help you make better decisions, of course, for the success of your company. Then you relied on multiple software. So let's say that you might have a software, but you don't have just one, you have more than one. So you have maybe one for accounting, then another one to do your purchases process, then another one for your inventory and warehouse management. Then you have another software for tracking your employees. So you have all these different type of softwares that help you, but with different processes, and the information is not connected and is not integrated. And of course, that is a problem because you're going to have duplicated information, and it's super time consuming knowing and connecting all these softwares. And of course, it is inefficient. You could be using this time to make more sales, buy more products, evaluating better your employees. So the idea of having an ERP is to solve the current problems that you have in your company. So finally, will you require a digital transformations? And these are some questions that you could ask yourself. So what are the current processes right now, and if they are not updated? Maybe you do have an ERP, but your processes are not updated. So that's another sign that you know that you really need to look for the right ERP for your company. And then you spend a lot of time on reports, or you spend a lot of time making processes that a software can do automatically for you. So you need to think about, do I really need to spend all this time making this report? Or if I have the information of my sales, my purchase, then the software is automatically going to give me the report of my profit and loss. So you need to think about how a software can help me grow my business and improve my company. Then, what are the steps to select the right ERP, of course, for your type of company? First, you need to understand your needs. And this is something super basic, but I think that it is one of the most important steps to think about, because most of the clients, they don't really know, or they don't really have a clear overview about what they will want to have and what's the best processes for the type of company that they have. So first, just document everything. Document all the departments that you want to have involved, all the processes inside the department that they need to be doing. What are the best practices for each department? And if you do not know what's the best practice in your case, of course, you can ask the expert, and I'm going to be explaining that later. But first of all, you need to document everything. Document what you will want to have and how the process should be. Then think about your pain points. And pain points are, okay, what are these problems that I'm having right now in my company that I would like to solve? And a problem can be, maybe I'm dedicating too much time doing this report. So I want a software to generate the report right away. So maybe that could be your pain point. Another pain point could be that your information is not integrated. So let's say that when you are doing a purchase and then you are receiving the materials, there is complication when receiving the materials. So that's another pain point that you could actually have. So just list and write down all the pain points that your company has in the moment and try to find a software that can solve those pain points. And then think about what you would like to improve. Maybe you have something that you have been doing it like that for so many years because it is the way that we do it in our company, but actually you know that you could be doing that process better. So think about that. What I want to improve for my company that is going to save me time and is going to help me grow my company. Then contact potential vendors. Of course, you want to know about all the options on the market, or maybe not all the options, but all the options that fit your needs. So getting in touch with an expert, this is super important. You can find information online about the software. There is plenty of information online, but if you really, really want to make the most of your time, my advice is to contact an expert, because this person is an expert of the software. So it's going to be telling you the information that you will going to need depending on your company, depending on your pain points, depending on what you want to solve. For example, Odoo can solve many problems. It's an integrated solution. So if someone starts evaluating Odoo for their company by their own, maybe they could be dedicating time in some apps that are not really value for that type of business. So that is what is super important, to get in contact with an expert and really explain what the company needs and ask them, hey, can Odoo do this? Can this software, can this another software can do this? Because this is what I really need to solve for my business. Another advice is to assign someone from your company to evaluate the ERP. And of course, you can have multiple departments and multiple employees evaluating the system, trying it, checking it out, seeing if it's friendly or not. But at the same time, you will want to have one main point of contact. Why? Because you want to consolidate all the information, and then this point of contact is the person that is going to be in direct communication with the expert. Of course, you're going to be doing meetings, you're going to be doing demos, and please request that. But at the same time, you want to have the information consolidated. Then be honest with your expectations. So we gotta be realistic. What I'm willing to have, how do I wanna have it, and how much I wanna invest in this new software. Because maybe you want a software to do many things, but you do not have the budget for that. So you have to be honest, you have to be realistic about what the expectations are. And then dedicate time. It's super important that you are gonna dedicate time in this fundamental decision for your company, and do not think about just the moment that you are investing in that meeting or in that call, in that email. Think also about how important this is going to be for the future of your company, for the growth of your company. So yes, dedicate time, ask for meetings, ask for demos, answer questions that the expert has, because they really want to help you find the best solution for your company. A little bit about Odoo. I want to mention that Odoo is great for different type of companies. We are great for distribution companies, manufacturing companies, retail stores, subscriptions. We also have a great system for services companies. So depending on the needs that the company is looking for, we are going to adapt the applications that we have, and because they are integrated, they could help your business improve, evolve, and grow. Then, another important factor is to analyze the infrastructure requirements. And it's fundamental to know how you want to have your system. Do you want to have it online? Do you want to have it SaaS? What that means is that you just need internet to be able to see your information. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you are in your house, at the office, in your car, but you just need a mobile, a computer, or a tablet that has internet, and that way you're gonna be right away with your information. You're gonna have access to all the data and the information of your company. That's one option. Another option is that you wanna have it on-premise. Instead of just having it online on the internet, you are going to have it on your own services. And of course, you need to think about and you need to evaluate the pros and cons about this decision. And another advice is think if you really want to have a software that it's open source. What this could help you grow, could help you adapt the software if you need other functionalities later on as your company grows. So just think about that if you will want to have a software open source or just or not. Another factor that you need to consider that it's fundamental is the implementation methodology. Yes, it is super important to know if the system can do what you want the software to do, but it's most important to know how to implement it. So it's not going to be worthy for your company to have the best ERP, but then you are not taking the most of that ERP. Why? Because your information is not properly set, or your employees do not know how to use the software, or the data is not correct. So you really need to think about the implementation process. And what is important to take into consideration here is, first, how much time I need to dedicate to implement the system, how easy it is to implement or not, how I'm gonna import my data, my previous data, if I need to import it or not. So think about that. And think about how friendly or not the system is going to be for your employees. Because of course, you want to have a software that is easy for your employees. That way, when you start using the system, they're going to learn fast how to use it and where to go to know the information. Then you need to understand the investment. It's super important to compare prices quotes from different vendors and analyze pros and cons. So don't stay just with one vendor. Try to find different options. So what should you ask yourself? Some advice here as well. First, what's the main goal of this transformation? Really, what you want to solve? What's the most important for your company? So you need to think about that, list that down, like write it down, and then start going from there. Key factors when choosing an ERP, of course, you want to think about the data integration. You want your information to be connected because it's going to save you time, it's going to be more efficient for your company, and it's going to help you grow your business. Then you want to think about the workflow, all the workflows that are going to be connected in the same system. And of course, super important to think about the timeline. When I'm going to be starting implementing a new system, and then it's going to take some time, the implementation period of time. Then when I'm going to start using the system actually in my company. Well, that's it for this talk. I believe that, I hope that this is helpful for this next decision, and I'm happy to solve any other questions.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Q&A. My name is Jose Hidalgo, Partnerships Account Executive. And here with me, Loredana Life, Loredana Pepe, Direct Sales Managers of the Americas. So, well.
Thank you, Alonso. So happy to be here and so happy to be presenting this talk to you all. I hope you enjoy it. And here I am to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to move... we're going to get right into it. Lore, so what's the role of the client in an implementation? I mean, how important is the client throughout the process?
Yeah, so that's actually, Alonso, a great question. The role of the client in an implementation is fundamental because they are the ones that know all the details and how the process works in their company. So it's super important that when they decide how they want to implement, we, like the consultant or the partner and the final client, meet in the middle, and that way they're going to be able to solve all the problems that the client has. Because of course, we are the experts of the Odoo itself or of any ERP that you guys are selecting, but you are the ones that really know how you would like to have your processes and how things already are in your company. So the best way is that they are really involved in the implementation. They really need to be super active, and they really need to be paying attention on all the meetings that they have and all the informations that are going to be sharing with the consultants or with the partners, whoever is helping with the implementation.
Thank you very much. That was actually our first question, a very important question. So here we go. The second one is, what industries Odoo is good for, or what kind of industries we are implementing the most? What do you think on that?
Yeah, so that is actually a great question. And when I think about Odoo, or when because I know what Odoo can do, I would like to say that when I think about Odoo, I do not really focus on what industries we are most famous or we dedicate most time. We think about, okay, what you need to solve in your company. It doesn't matter what industry you are, but what are the processes that you want to solve? What are your main pain points? And after that, we can evaluate if we can adapt Odoo to solve those problems. So instead of just focusing, okay, what industry are we the best at? I think that it's better that we focus on the processes that we want to solve. That way, we really can get into the details, because Odoo has so many apps, right? So we can connect the apps that Odoo already have, for example, purchase, sales, manufacturing, inventory, like so many apps. But if you have a specific problem that you want to solve, maybe we can create it with Studio, or maybe we can combine another app that we use, for example, for consulting or for services, then we use the project app, but maybe that application can be used to solve your problem. So instead of just focusing on, okay, just industry, I will prefer to really understand what's the problem of these companies and try to think how we're going to solve that problem in Odoo. But of course, if you really want to know industry, I will say that Odoo is great for manufacturing companies. if you will really need to solve all your problems in your purchasing department, in your sales department, CRM management, services, if you offer services and you want to manage the hours of your employees and how you keep track of the invoicing of that services, always a great tool as well.
Thank you, Lori. That was a great answer. I have a third question. And this is another very important question. It is about the main pain point. Normally, when a client come to Odoo, they share their stories. What are the typical pain points that you encounter in one of those interactions with the client?
Yeah, sure. So that's actually really good and easy to answer because, of course, we are constantly talking to so many clients, and it's kind of interesting how until a certain moment you keep hearing the same problems over and over. And the problems that we must hear are first, that the information is not connected. Let's say they have so many different systems for so many different things. For example, they have, I don't know, or maybe they have Excel, but they have Excel to manage their receipts, their products, their inventory, like everything related to their warehouse, right? But then they have another Excel, or they have a specific product just for, let's say, do the purchases. So when they do the purchase order, then they need to control that by email, and then it's like a separate document, or they need to have a PDF, which is a separate document that it's not even connected with the email. So it's like so many different systems, okay, to manage a whole process. So these are kind of like the main problems: information not connected, not integrated, data not in real time, and also losing a lot of time making reports. So of course, managers, they would like to know like KPIs right away, fast, straight to the point. And if the information is in so many different systems, then you need to first combine the information, and then after you combine the information, you're going to be able to create the graph, do the filters, and all that. That Odoo already do that. Odoo do it for you, and the applications inside Odoo are connected, so you don't need to worry about importing the information again or downloading the information and importing it to this other software, because why? Everything is connected within Odoo.
Awesome, thank you. That's a great answer. We are going to answer one question from the chat. What is the best infrastructure according to you?
Infrastructure. Okay, yeah, so that's actually a great question. Thank you for asking this on the chat as well. I will say that it depends on your specific need, and also it depends of where you're located and your budget and how you wanna grow your company. Because sometimes it is better that you have the system online, so everything is going to be SaaS, everything is going to be on the cloud, and you just need internet to be able to access to your information. So that's a great option for most of the companies, okay? But let's say that your business, you are in some part of the world that your internet is not really good, because we need to be honest. There are part of the world that they don't have good internet. So if that's your situation, then you know that maybe a SaaS version, it's not the right option for you. So of course, in my case, I will say that having an online system is the best solution in terms of you can save a lot of money. Odoo is going to take care of all the maintenance, migrations, depending on the contract that you are. But it's so much easier for Odoo itself and also for the client. However, it's going to depend of your need and what's behind that.
Great answer. Thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys, your questions. So we're going to go ahead and answer our last question. We only have maybe 2 more minutes left. Can you tell us general advice? Let's say if you're in front of a client, is there anything that you would like to say to them as a general advice?
Yeah. So when thinking about picking the right ERP for your company, of course, there are so many, like a lot of information online. Really take time to think what's the best for your company and start sooner than later. Because some clients, they are like, no, we are not ready with our business yet. We are starting. It is better that you start sooner because then your processes are going to be organized since the beginning. So don't wait too long to make a decision. It's better that you start with all your processes organized. And if you have the advice of someone that really know what they are talking about and what they are doing, if you really have the advice from an expert, then they are gonna explain you what processes are better and what processes have worked in other companies. So that's actually like a plus and a bonus for you.
Thank you very much. I mean, I like to say thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you for answering all our questions too. And thank you everyone for attending this.
Alonso, I actually wanna answer one last question one last question that I saw on the chatter. What is the best source of information to find potential vendors? I'm not really sure if you are referring to vendors or partners, right?
Yes.
Yeah, partners, I think. So if it's partners, you can go ahead and Google odoo.com/partner, or like just put in Google Odoo partners, and you're gonna find so many options there. We're gonna be contacting you with an account manager, and then we're gonna find the best partner in your situation.
Awesome. Thank you very much for attending. I'll see you.